Breaking news.
A Jefferson County pastor is behind bars tonight accused of sexually exploiting children. Investigators with the Sheriff's Department say Elvis Kohlenberg made two 14-year-olds have sex with one another on a school bus he was driving. The two students told law enforcement this happened more than a dozen times. 3 on Your Side's Quentin Smith joins us now with exclusive video after Kohlenberg's arrest. Quentin?
That's right, Courtney, and the sheriff calls these details disturbing. Not only is Kohlenberg a pastor, but the sheriff says he was also driving the school bus where the sexual acts happened. Investigators claim what's even more disturbing is the fact that Kohlenberg sat back and watched each time this happened. This is Elvis Kohlenberg. The Jefferson County preacher and former school bus driver is being charged with 1 count of exploitation of children. This comes after investigators say he forced a 14-year-old boy and 14-year-old girl to have sex with one another on the school bus roughly 20 times.
The young lady, she was kind of devastating about it, traumatized. We actually was going to seek counseling for her. Because she said it happened so many times, and she felt like she was done wrong. Sheriff James Bailey Sr. says Kohlenberg turned himself in on Wednesday. The department started its investigation into this matter in February after the 14-year-old female student came forward to law enforcement confessing what was happening. This is my first time coming across something like this. According to the sheriff, the 14-year-old female student rode Kohlenberg's bus. However, the 14-year-old boy was not a normal bus rider. Kohlenberg would pick him up from another location. Investigators say he would then drop all of the students off the bus until it was just the 14-year-olds left, and that's when he would force them to have sex while he sat back and watched. All of this happening on the evening bus route during after-school hours. It's a sad situation either way you look at it, and for both parties, especially for the female, for that kind of activity happening, and his expectation that he was a minister. It's just tough to believe that he kind of action was taken in his presence, and he was engaging in it. So it's hurting him. Bailey says Kohlenberg even offered to pay the students to have sex while he sat back and watched. The Sheriff's Department is still investigating how long this has been taking place, as well as what made Kohlenberg target these two students. And this is a serious crime, dealing with children and juveniles, and the expectation of kids, and watching why they have sex. That's serious.
Kohlenberg is no longer a part of the Jefferson County School District and is no longer driving buses. The district issuing this statement saying, because this is a personnel matter, we are not at liberty to discuss any specific allegations. The Jefferson County School District is working with law enforcement regarding this matter. Kohlenberg made his initial court appearance today and was given a $200,000 bond. He's being represented by attorney Dennis Sweet. Sweet did not wish to give a comment at this time. Quentin Smith, 3 on Your Side.